We have three primary missions: advocacy, and that's why we are gathered in Washington today. Advocacy, compliance, and education. And we hold numerous programs throughout the year, helping advisors get up to speed on regulatory changes and how to comply with regulations. This is our 6th annual lobbying day on Capitol Hill. I'm on the Hill all the time, meeting with members of Congress and their staffs to talk about investment advisor concerns. But it's the local involvement, it's the involvement by real live investment advisors that makes the message I deliver resonate politically. I think it was Tip O'Neill who said all politics is local. That is true. So investment advisors come to Washington today. We set up meetings with their members in the House of Representatives and their 2 senators. Some of those meetings are with the members of Congress themselves. Some of them are with staffers. And they help establish that local nexus, and they talk about their concerns about what's going on in the political and regulatory environment. You may have seen that the SEC budget calls for quite an extraordinary increase in the SEC's budget, and for 250 new examiners for investment advisors. There's recognition that federal oversight is not sufficient, that the frequency of advisor exams has to increase. And the issue before Congress is whether that increase happens by giving the SEC more resources, or whether the SEC is allowed or given authority to designate an SRO, or self-regulatory organization. The SRO bill, the FINRA bill, has not yet been reintroduced in this Congress, but I expect that we will see it, if not this year, certainly next year. We know that this continues to be a high priority for FINRA and its allies. The Waters-Delaney bill, H.R. 1627, which is the bill that would authorize the SEC to assess user fees on advisors to help increase the staff of OC so it can perform more advisor exams. We are hopeful about that legislation. We are hopeful that we can get a companion bill moving in the Senate, and that will be a focus of today's activities on Lobbying Day. We want to help generate more co-sponsors, so that will be one of the key asks for today. We are going to, in the briefing that we will shortly be conducting for Lobbying Day participants, we're going to ask them to specifically talk about H.R. 1627, the Waters-Delaney bill, and try to generate support for that legislation. Our first preference would be for the SEC to find the resources from its existing budget to do the job. That doesn't seem likely. Our second preference would be for Congress to give the SEC budget authority so it could properly staff up OC, and we are supporting the administration's budget request for the SEC. We are supporting user fees because unless the SEC gets the resources to do the job, the door is going to be left wide open for FINRA and the SRO alternative, which we have examined and would be far more costly to advisors than this user fee alternative.